Hey guys, welcome to the Asian Info Channel 1. I'm Steve. I'm going to be filling in for Rich today. And I want to talk today about landlord issues. And landlord issues can be a big problem here in the Philippines if you run into some corrupted, money grubbing landlords here. And I'm going to get into this because this happens quite a lot with expats getting conned out of their money, ripped off in general by people. You meet somebody, you think they're decent, and they turn out to be a piece of shit. That's just saying it bluntly. I mean, there are some landlords over here, man, they're really, really corrupt. And when they see an American, they quote one thing online, and when you show up with all your stuff ready to move in, they say, yeah, we had to go up on the rent by 1,000, 2,000, or even 3,000 or 3,500. We've had it happen here. And when people pull this stuff, you got to be very, very leery of this. And just, if it happens to you, don't sign a lease. Just tell them, look, I'm stuck right now with you. You're going up on the rent. I don't like that. I'm just going to stay here and move out right away. If you have no place to live, what else are you going to do? Or I would try to find someplace that day or stay in a hotel or whatever. It happens, and it happens a lot. We had a landlord here. He quoted a price, he went up 1,000, then he went up another 1,000, then he went up another 1,000. And I no longer recommend these people because of what they did. And we had another landlord who said that he was ready to roll. Everything was ready to go. You know, everything. He says, I asked him, I says, are you ready to have these people in? And he says, yes. And the electricity was not hooked up properly. It was hooked into a plug into his house for 4 units. And these people were supposed to run their air conditioners off this. It would have blew a fuse or something like that. And then he had one water line coming in for 4 units. So the water couldn't keep up with all the outflow of water, even though he had a tank. People were taking showers, they were washing dishes, using the toilet. And it just was not, if somebody turned on the faucet in the house, and somebody in another house turned on their faucet, there was barely even enough flow to take a shower, never mind wash dishes. And later on, he hooked up some of this stuff to make it a little bit better, but it was just the whole way he went about it. And he was talking about dividing up the electric bill. How do you divide up one electric bill amongst five people, you know, and this is some of the things that happen here in the Philippines. You have to be aware of. And also some people want first, last, and security and all that. And what they do is they keep it in the end. They're not supposed to. You're supposed to get that back. You're supposed to get that back, but that you don't get it back. So don't expect it back. They've kind of made it like their way, even though the laws here dictate otherwise. If you have a contract with this person and it's a deposit, you're supposed to get the deposit back unless you use it for your last month's rent or something like that. Be careful, okay? Because there's all kinds of people finagling things. Also, some landlords tell, if you don't get receipts, guys, and a lot of you guys don't. If you have a landlord that says, I'll give you a receipt later, say, well, I'm not going to give you the money. When you bring me the receipt, I'll give you the money. That's what you do. And you have a rent, either that or have a rent book. You write out what you want on the receipt and have him sign it and say that he received the money, and have it in one book that you always have. So if you have to go to the barangay for an issue, the barangay, that's where you solve your issues with landlords and stuff. If you ever have to have something solved, you got the book there. And that's the best way to do it, because people lose receipts. Get a book. And I have a big, huge blue book up here, and my landlord fills it out. And I've never had any problems with my landlord. That's one thing I'm blessed with, is having a good landlord here. And if you have a good landlord, be thankful that you have a good landlord. My landlord, we take care of her. She takes care of us. She rarely ever goes up on the rents here, and we do the painting here. We take care of painting the building. We take care of the plumbing. We keep the place nice. It's a nice place to live. We paint indoors. We don't have to ask her to paint. If there's pipes leaking, or not pipes. If the roof is leaking or anything like that, they take care of that. I pay to have the gutter cleaned. I take care of some of that stuff, and I pay for it out of pocket for 4 units, despite the fact that there are other units here, I usually take care of it because it doesn't cost much. It's cheap. Be wary though of the landlords, and get a rent book. Get a rent book and have them fill that out, or better off you fill it out because the wording might be different than what you want. Fill it out. Put all the information that you want in there. This is for this month's rent, or I'm paid through December 1st, 2025 or whatever. I'm paid through that date all in advance. I paid in advance. I don't recommend you go too far in advance unless you know the landlord. After a while, you get comfortable with the landlord. I pay a year in advance. I'm okay with that. And that way there you don't have to worry about dealing with anything and have any issues. It's paid in advance. You're all paid up. I wouldn't recommend doing that until you've been in the place for like maybe 6 months or more, and you get to know the landlord a little bit better and you feel more comfortable, or even a year sometimes. Then if you want to pay a year in advance, go ahead. It's cheap. I mean, for some people they're paying, anywhere between $800 to $1,000 for the whole year. Okay, or $1,200 in some cases if it's $100. But most people in this area here, the rents are anywhere between 60 to 125 US. That's very, very reasonable, So you can pay in advance if you wish, but if you might be moving or something, if you have a lease, you're gonna have to pay it anyway. So if you sign a 1-year lease, just pay it all in advance. Get it out of the way, Just pay them and have them sign in your rent book. I paid one full year's advance rent, and the landlord hereby agrees that it was paid to him in full all the way till January 1st, 2026 or whatever. That's a good way of doing it. And that way you're safe. Be very leery though of some of these landlords. Make sure you check everything. When you go check out an apartment, don't just look at it. Turn on the water. Check to make sure you got good flow from your faucet. Make sure the toilet's flush. Make sure your shower works during the day. If you're on a second level, in some places, the water does not work as well on the second floor in a lot of apartments. Check to make sure it does work because it has to flow up top. And a lot of municipalities don't have good pressure. So the pressure, it can't even push the water up to the second floor sometimes during the day because there's so many people using the water. So the pressure drops, and the only time the water works sometimes in some of these homes is at night. They can only take a shower at night. They can only wash dishes at night. And it's kind of a hassle for you to have like something like that. You can put a pump on there, but you're not supposed to. They tell you it's illegal in some municipalities to add a pump to make more pressure because it's sucking all the water to your house, and other houses might not get it as well. So you may want to check into that, and also you can have a water tank sometimes. Make sure that the water tank is clean. I would put some iodine drops in there or something every once in a while to kill any germs or whatever. Just be careful. Be careful when you're moving into a place. Make sure you're not going to have to do too much to it. A lot of places here you have to look at it with the eye of, okay, I'm going to slap some paint on here. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to change the faucet because I don't like the faucet, or I don't like the door. I've done that. I've changed doors in here. I changed the door over here, come into the room. It was one of those hollow doors. I didn't like it. I wanted to put a really nice wooden door in there, and it really makes the room pop, having that wooden door there. I like that. It makes the house more enjoyable. I like my house to look nice. I try to have it show my personality, and it's a place where I come and I'm in comfort when I'm in my house. This is my comfort zone. I like coming in here, playing guitar, having some friends over once in a while, do things like that. I got my little Coca-Cola refrigerator there, and I got my guitars all over the place here. You can see them in the background, and I got a violin up there and 2 more guitars up there, and I got some guitars in the other room. I got a couple of other guitars coming. I got a resonator coming, a dobro resonator guitar coming to hang on my wall, and that's going to really look nice up on the wall, not just to play, but also to have it up on the wall and as a showpiece. I love older guitars, and this is an older guitar that I'm getting. It is a dobro. Dobro is actually part of Gibson, and it's it's also like Epiphone. There's Gibson, Epiphone, and Dobro, and they're all owned by the same company, Gibson. But anyway, guys, if you're looking for a place, always look at it with the eye of what you can do with it, because they're not going to, the landlords most of the time here will not fix it up. You got to do the painting. If this thing's broken, they might fix a few of the things in the apartment. And usually they do substandard work. If you can do the work yourself, do it yourself. Faucets and things like that, most of that's pretty easy to do. Cleaning, before you go in there, it's better off that you or your girlfriend both go in there to do the cleaning, because they might not want to do the work to what you like. A lot of times you'll move in, they'll say they cleaned it already, and you walk in there and it's dusty, it's dirty, the windows aren't washed or anything, and it's just icky, you know? You want your bathroom cleaned and sanitized after it's been sitting a while. Like I said, check your showers, check your water, check your pressure, check your electricity outlets, make sure all the outlets work. Most places you're going to have to add outlets. You can see over here on that wall there, I've added 6 outlets over there, because I got tired of having all those, those ones that you plug in and it's got a strip. I like having it right in the wall right there. I know what's there. I can see it. It looks nicer. I've also had other plugs put in over here. You can see the one right above my finger right here. And we don't use that one as often. I also put another one right there. You can see it behind me underneath the TV. I put one there for the TV. I put more out in the other room. If you're like me and you have a lot of gadgets, you want to put up all that stuff before you move in if possible. You can put it in when you move in, but you have to pull stuff out and all that. Easier to go in there, have an electrician come in or somebody that knows what they're doing. And a lot of the people here, the Filipinos, they know what they're doing when it comes to stuff like that. Just have them put it in. And that way there you're all set when you move in. Americans always need more plugs in most cases. Most Americans are pretty gadget, big gadget users. So that they want to have all this stuff like a stereo and computers and things like that. We have that out in the other room too. We're putting a computer out there, and we have the computer also in here at my desk right there, as you can see. And all that extra stuff that you add makes a difference. I also have a hot water heater here, and I have an extra pump to make that work better. It's not that my shower is weak or anything. I like a good, strong shower. And putting that extra power from the pump on there made all the difference for my shower. It just made a huge difference. They're not that expensive. The hot water heaters, they're fairly reasonable. They're all different prices for different ones. And the pumps you can buy on Lazada, and as soon as you turn the water on, the pump turns on. It's automatic. Just make sure that the wires are safe out of the way of the shower and they're way up above your head, and that helps a lot. And I have mine all hooked up. It's really, really safe, and it's really, really good. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care, and be careful, guys. Be careful when you're shopping for apartments and stuff like that. Be wary of the landlord. If the landlord's going up on stuff and sounds like he's trying to screw you, chances are he is. Don't let him. Just walk. Go find some other landlord somewhere else, and you're better off. A lot of the landlords can be real dicks around here, and there are some very good landlords too. Be careful. If he tells you one price and you get there and he tries to get more because he sees you're American, walk. Just say screw you, buddy. I'm not dealing with you. We've had many expats come over here, walk out of deals because of that. In places where the home was already overpriced anyway, people were tacking on like an extra $100 for some of these gated community places. They were tacking on an extra $100, $200 as soon as they saw that it was an American. They figure you got money, and they're gonna charge you for it. They're gonna try to screw you. So be careful. God bless, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.